Got a new project for today for the 636. I'm going to add RFID. We all know what RFID is now, right? So these. Some of us have injection in our hand, you know. We've seen it from my other videos. But we're going to add that into the bike because I'm tired of having a key. Plus, this is a stunt bike, so the key spot isn't there. It was always down here, and I did bump it with my legs sometimes, and I don't like it. So I never wanted a key right before I even got this bike because keys suck, and I don't have a key for my house, so I should have a key for a bike that is left outside unattended. Never. So I am going to change it out. Went on the old internet onto AliExpress and ordered some parts. This is a pretty standard RFID module that I use. It's full standalone. It is wiggling enabled, but we're not going to use that today. We're just going to use the built-in reader. I ordered a couple different readers because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I think I'm going to go with the standard. This is the one I normally use. So I got a nice switch too, really nice switch, and of course it's purple, so that's good. Got it benchmarked up here, just making sure everything works, and it does. It reads my hand, turns on. So how we're going to do this is I did some research, found out on the key switch here. Essentially, we need to join the red and blue wires together, and then the white and brown together, as well as with the gray wire back there. But the gray wire has a resistor in it, some sort of anti-theft, fairly basic anti-theft stuff that would never fool anybody. But so I got me a 100K resistor. That's what mine is. I think that's what they all are, but you can check it out. All I did was use a multimeter to read it because it's a 5-band, and I don't know how to read 5 bands. Did that, pulled it out of the bike. Obviously, it was just zip tied in anyways for me. I'm going to keep the factory plug. I'm going to cut it off there, but I'm going to leave a little bit of color so that if I ever sell the bike, I could sell it with it, and they could put it back to stock if they want. So the plan here is to actually reroute the wire back down like it was. Key used to set there. And we're going to try and reach it into this box. I might have to extend it a little bit, but in this box is where I would like to have the push button to turn it on, and then the reader as well. And I want it on this side. There's way more room over here to deal with everything. Way more room. But I want it on that side so that when I'm riding, or if I get on the bike, it's my right hand that's enabled with the code we're going to use. I do have them in both hands, but this is the one that's going to be the one to start the bike. So I want to be able to, if I forget to start it before I get on, I can just reach my hand back and bump the reader and push the button. But other than that, it's going to be pretty straightforward. We're just going to use the switch to power a relay. This is a double pole, double throw. We only need double pole, single throw, but they're incredibly expensive. So I'm not sure why they do less work. But so we're just going to use that, and then the normally open and common side of it to do the switching of the key, and then the normally open and common on the reader. We're actually going to use that to intercept the ignition button here. And the reason I want to do that is if anything was to fail on that on this reader, I will first of all be relatively easy to jump start it. I'll have to pull the tank off and to do it, but not a big deal. But the main reason actually is because if it did fail, I don't want to shut the whole bike off. I don't want to be riding or, you know, mid-wheelie or something and the bike shut off because of that. If it failed and I couldn't hit the start button, oh well. The other thing we're going to use on this is we're going to set the time frame so that it turns on whenever you read your hand or the RFID. It's going to actually leave it on for the maximum time, which I think is 90 seconds or something like that. I can't quite remember. 60 seconds. 99 seconds. So we're going to leave it to pretty much maximum. That way I can, like, you know, bump my hand, put my gloves on, get on, start it, and not have to worry about the delay there. Because it doesn't matter if it stays on longer, as long as it turns it on. So I'm going to start by cutting up some wires, get some stuff soldered, and getting it all kind of organized. Hoping to basically bench test everything and get all the wires length and everything and put it all in here. Don't mind this mess of wires. This is a lot of fabric cobble to get the brake lights going because I wanted nice brake lights. I got some there, and there. Lots of lights. I like lots of lights. But I do have also a couple of more modules, these ST2 modules, the brake light one and the turn signal one I've got to wire into. So most of this is going to get gutted and cleaned and organized. So let's get to working on it. Okay, so this is what I've got wired up. I'm not putting any shrink tube on it because I wanted to show you in case somebody is following along to what colors go where. But basically we have power and ground going to this guy, and then it runs out to the coil side of the relay. And there's two running to it there because the red wire there actually backfeeds for the light on the switch. So that's why there's two. Ground wire is going to be main ground to the battery here because there was no ground in the main electric harness here, or the main key harness, sorry. And then the rest of the stuff is from the key harness. There it is. And there's that resistor I put in back there, just tied it in. So the gray wire gets the resistor. I guess what it does is lowers the voltage so that it knows it's legit or whatever. And then we have this harness coming out, and this is the one for the reader itself, and it is just coming out of the coil here. This is the hot side of the coil, so when you turn the button on, it powers the coil and powers the reader. And then the other two wires in the reader are the ones that are actually going to be needed to tie into the ignition button on the handlebars. So I'm gonna try and test this stuff out, I think, and then make sure everything's good, and then I'll shrink it all down just to make sure. Okay, here it is. I just got it, like I said, tested in. Let's go. Ready? So let's see the light. Oh, be careful because that's hot. Or it's live, I should say. Hot's a good term, but it's also live. Hear that noise? Also, as a side note, I didn't know these did this. This was making all the noise. Watch this. Neat, huh? So anyways, so that works. So now I just got to use this one to interrupt the switch. That's next. RFID now hooked up. Check it out. We turn the whole bike on. All right. Cool stuff, eh? Start button. She no worky. Not because of that, but she no worky. Give a quick little flip of the hand. Ugh. How exciting. All right, here it is, all mounted in. Don't mind the hot glue. That's literally just there to hold it in place while the silicone behind it dries. I mounted the button here. It might look off center or whatever, but straight on, she's really bloody center. So I thought it'd be nice to be behind here so there was no accidental hitting it no matter what, to turn it on or to turn it off. But yeah, she works good. You just turn her on like that, give her the quick old dunsy duns, and when you're done, you turn it off. And nothing, obviously. And just to prove that it is RFID, on, nothing. Nothing at all. Pretty cool. I'm super stoked about this. I hate keys. That's why I did this. If you all want any information, just, comment or whatever you guys do. I don't get many comments, but hey, if you want information, I'll even maybe link some things. I'm not sure. It's all really basic. Basic to me. Thanks for joining.